When we left the hospital, we made a promise to Eddie that we would make him proud in everything that we do. And that's why the charity is so important, because it allows us to do something for Eddie, to do something meaningful in his name, but I think also it allows us to still parent Eddie in some way.
As soon as you lose your child, you join this other tribe, and it's only when you've been here that you realise that this is it now. It's just us, and no one else knows what it looks like.
I was a mummy, Chris was a daddy, and then suddenly we were transported into this new world. How do we try and find meaning again in our life, and how can we live a life again without our baby boy?
It's such a unique experience. You've also lost a child, you've lost a teenager, you've lost an adult to have a relationship with.
There's nothing that ever prepares you for this. You lose most of yourself. I can barely remember the woman I was before I lost my son.
People are terrified of it. They don't know what to say. People might cry. It's distressing, it's upsetting. And actually, parents who've lost a child love nothing more than talking about their baby.
As years pass after your child has died, you can almost feel like they were a sort of weird mystical figment of your imagination. You want them to stay as important as ever, really.
I now find that I have very little time and space in my week to really think about Caitlin in the way that I used to be able to. And I'm still trying to find out who I am post-baby loss.
You know, you can only really cope with that kind of grief if you feel connected to your child.
There are a few things as distressing as the loss of a child, and there's often associated trauma. Teddy's Wish champion support for bereaved parents, regardless of where their loss was, when their loss was, how old their baby was.
We just couldn't prioritise our loss over other losses. We quickly recognised that thousands of babies die each year. Those families need answers, and those families need support. The charity funds research into SIDS, neonatal death and stillbirth, but also provides support for grieving families.
Currently at Teddy's Wish we offer a 12-weekly session programme of support. Grief is like learning a new language, and one of the things that I do is effectively act as an interpreter. It's a bit like having a guide to walk you through the journey.
It's very difficult as a newly bereaved parent. You know, the fact that you want to be putting all of your energy into this baby and they're not there for you to do that. The counselling helped us to set aside that day to be his day and to talk about him and work through our emotions that came with the loss.
There's an old statement, time is the greatest healer, and I'm not sure I fully agree with that, because what time gives you is an ability to learn to cope, and those coping mechanisms are what allow you to try and face the day to day. Really trying to find time in your life and space in your life to be with your lost child and let those powerful emotions have a place in your life is critical. It's why the residential retreat that we put on once a year for the charity is so vital, because it just gives 2 days of space and time also to be with other parents.
Oh, it's hugely important to connect with other people who have been through the same experience, so they don't have to put an act on with. They can just be completely natural. You don't even have to say very much, because the people in the room all know how you are.
For once, I belong. For these 2 days, I'm not silently angry because everyone else around me looks like they have these perfect lives with their living children, and it's just me in the corner with my dead son. I belong. I feel more empowered to keep going.
I don't have to just be functioning in a world where I'm not always sure I fit anymore.
From the minute they arrive and have their own room to lovely comforting food, beautifully looked after in this beautiful grounds and lovely house, and then a chance to meet other bereaved people.
Baby loss is still so taboo. One of the objectives of the charity is that we're trying to destigmatise baby loss and get more people to talk about it. And what we have found really comforting over the last few years is that there is this huge baby loss presence now on social media, where we are connecting every day with families who have lost a child.
There is a community out there, and I think that community is incredibly powerful, and being together, you are stronger.
It's life-changing. I don't think that's an exaggeration. It is life-changing. It makes a difference to them as a family. It makes a difference to subsequent children. And we know that loss that hasn't been managed well has adverse consequences throughout the generations. This is life-changing.
we're still here. Eddie is always with us, the grief is always with us, but we have managed to still create a life. It is possible to live a happy life even if you have lost. We want to make our support accessible to everyone.
Baby loss doesn't discriminate. It impacts everyone. Whoever you are, that support should be available in equal measure.